And now for your starting lineups. Starting first for Christopher Newport Volleyball, the number 1.
Welcome everyone to Southern Virginia University Volleyball here from the Knight Sports Arena. I'm Jim Bresnahan. I'm joined tonight by Tom Peterson, who is the men's volleyball coach here at Southern Virginia University. He's going to be my sidekick tonight as we get ready to bring you Southern Virginia University volleyball, women's volleyball against Christopher Newport. And we'll be talking about that game coming up in just a couple of seconds, Tom. But, of course, you're preparing, your team is for next spring for men's volleyball, too.
Yes, currently we're in our what we call a non-traditional segment, so we get to practice about 5 weeks. We're nearing the end of that. We actually have a match next week that we get to play, and that'll culminate in the last thing that we do for our preparation of this particular semester. Well,
throughout the course of our webcast of this Christopher Newport Southern Virginia women's volleyball game, we'll be talking with Tom also about preparations for next spring for the initial season for men's volleyball. But tonight in women's volleyball, Southern Virginia hosting another tough team. They got beat by Mary Washington on Wednesday, 3-1, and tonight they're facing Christopher Newport, a team that has a record of 13-4 on the season. The Knights come in with a record of 3-10 overall. They had a very tough match earlier this week, Tom, against Mary Washington, and probably going to be forecast to face another quality opponent, another top 20 opponent today with Christopher Newport.
Well, that's the trouble with being in this conference. It's one of the best conferences in the country, so you don't get to rest. And when you play good matches, you've got to get ready for another good match, even just the next night.
And the Knights earlier this week, of course, beat Eastern Mennonite. That was non-conference action on Tuesday, sweeping that three-set match, sweeping it 3-0 against EMU. And on Wednesday against Mary Washington, the Knights actually won the first set, played very competitive in the other 3 sets, actually losing those very close, Tom. Of course, in set 3, I think it was, the Knights actually had a 17-14 lead, but Mary Washington came back, and the Knights made a great comeback in set number 4 on Wednesday, got all the way back to 21-20, and then Mary Washington was able to put it away after that. So the Knights certainly had their chances in set 3 and set 4. So a little deceiving. They lost that 3-1, but it could have easily been the other way. It could have been a Knights victory.
You know, I was involved with our team that night, but I got to watch the last game. And when they made that comeback, they were very impressive, and that's tough to do. You know, losing is contagious, winning is contagious, and when you get to that point, more than a few times, and here's a point where we just don't play well, or here's a point where we do play well, that's the thing that I was impressed with. Even losing a few matches that they thought they could have won, they came out against maybe the best team in the conference and made that nice comeback, and they pushed them to the limit.
Well, CNU again came in with a record today, 13-4 on the season. We are ready to go with Southern Virginia serving in this first set to get it underway. Good block at the net by the Knights, by Allred. Knights struggling to get it back across, which they do. Now the captains will set it up again. Saved in the back row by the Knights. Brought back across by Southern Virginia. Now CNU looking for a kill, and they get it. That was Riley Garrison getting the kill shot, and it is 1-0 CNU as they score first here in set number 1.
Well, what they did right there is set the ball in the middle of the court. They're middle blockers. That's something that the Knights would like to concentrate on a little bit more, getting a little bit more productivity out of their middles and a little bit better blocking in the middle.
Allred could not get her kill shot to go. Set up this time for Tiggs. Couldn't get it to go, but it does fall. It hits the ceiling and then drops. That kind of threw CNU off, and we've seen that from time to time where the ball hits the ceiling, maybe hit it square, maybe it doesn't hit it square, maybe it comes off at an angle, and it really throws off, more often than not, Tom, the other team, because it seems like Southern Virginia is used to it.
You know, this is a rather low ceiling. The middle part is actually high enough that it doesn't affect play, but when you get to the sides, it is rather low, and you have to get used to that, and sometimes it can affect your digging and how you play the ball.
Beatty, a violation there, trying to get it at the net, but went across, and so CNU gets the point. Captains lead here early on in this first set, 2-1. And serving for CNU is Josie Lucerne. Kill shot by Tiggs, no good. Allred at the net and gets it across, and now we've got a point for Southern Virginia.
You know,
so the Knights tie it right back up at 2.
You know, as you watch Southern Virginia, they have 3 outside hitters. One is a lefty. I call him an outside, but she actually is on the right side of the court, but she's at the pin or where the antenna is, and that's their strength. They can go to the 3 players when the lefty is in. You can set it to either side very easily, and they have some power. And that now the lefty goes out, and the other teams in the past have tried to gang up just a little bit, like call it trapping, on their outside hitter, the strength on the left side of the court. Let's see if that happens.
Richard with a service error. Dubinsky tries to slam at the net, couldn't get it to go. Knights will just tap it across. Knights trailing now 3-2. Good spike at the net by CNU. Allred right back the other way. Saved by the captains. They get it across. Knights will try to set up Allred again for the slam. Blocked by CNU. Allred again. Near save by the captains, and they get a lucky break as that ball goes right in on the right side of the court for SVU, as Richard just could not get there in time. That was a well-earned point by CNU because there's a service error too, service in the net by CNU. So each team, Tom, early on with a service and a service that goes into the net, and so now it's 4-3 CNU.
So far, a good game. A little bit nervous on both sides. It looks like they'll settle in. So some of those were errors, but that will be eliminated just a little bit as the play goes on here.
That was Gwynn trying to kill a shot. She couldn't get it to go. Dubinsky will try. It's blocked by CNU. Allred setting up Gwynn. Blocked again by the captains. Beatty throws it over, and a great play by Beatty as she found an opening on the captain's side of things, and the captains were taken off guard a little bit. Beatty gets the point for Southern Virginia. We're all tied at 4 here in set number 1.
Good choice by the setter to send it deep when they're not expecting it.
Slam by CNU. That's a kill shot by Hannah Miller. Miller came in with 166 kills going into this game today, and she gets one there to make it 5-4. CNU on top by 1. Captains are serving. Knights looking for Allred for a kill, and it's into the net, 6-4, CNU.
Now that particular set was to the deep court, so the 10-foot line they called it. It's actually a meter line, but we call it the 10-foot line, and that was a hit from behind that line. That was hard to do.
Hosier to Beatty to Gwynn, and she goes down the line for a point.
Now, what Gwynn did on that one, she hit it down the line, and where she has been blocked in the other rallies is cross court. So if she could go down the line a little bit more, she probably will have some good success.
Dubinsky will serve 6-5. Knights by 1, and another service error into the net by the Knights. That's 2 here early on in this first set, Tom.
Coaches just don't like those service errors. If you're not getting aces, you just don't want to serve it in the net or out of bounds.
Yeah, we talked about that the other night, a few of those against Mary Washington. And you really want to get the ball in play as Allred, or make that Evans, I think it is. Evans with the kill shot, she gets it to go.
Yes, that was in the middle of the court once again, and again, that's what the Knights would like to do more and more, is get the ball into the middle of the court or be more effective at doing that.
Now Beatty will serve at 7-6. Knights only trail by 1 here in the opening set. Beatty with the serve. Long serve set up by the Captains, and they get it to go. Nice tip shot there by Riley Garrison. And the Captains are on top again now by 2 at 8-6.
A lot of tips, a lot of balls short in the court that you just don't expect. Not a full swing yet. That'll get evened out, I assume, as the game goes on.
Captains now serving with a 2-point lead. Allred in the back. We'll get it back across. Captains setting things up at the net. Blocked by the Knights, but it falls in. And that kill shot is done by Rachel Blitt, a 5'10 freshman from Yorktown, Virginia. And she gives the Captains a 3-point lead now at 9-6. Allred. That ball went up to the ceiling and then landed very close to the net, and no one was expecting that for the Southern Virginia side of things, and as a result it goes unreturned. It's 10-6 now. Southern Virginia trailing by 4. Good serve, almost took SVU off guard. Knights get it across, Allred. Captains quickly setting up a kill shot. Blocked by the Knights. They get it back across. Captains setting up another kill, blocked by Allred, or Evans. Make that Emma Evans again, blocking at the net for the point. Emma Evans doing the job.
Nice block. It was a solo block. Usually like to have other people help you, but that's a good solo block by the Knights.
Evans, a 5'11 junior, making the play at the net to make it 10-7. And now the Knights will serve. Layton serving for the Knights. That kill shot by the Captains too far out of bounds. It's now 10-8. The Knights inch closer, trailing just a second ago by a margin of 4, 10-6. Now it's 10-8. Layton serving again. Captains trying to get the kill. Good save by Hosier. Allred back the other way. Saved by the Captains. Hosier right there to make another dig. And it goes out.
Well, they got it to the person they would like to hit on that. It's called reverse flow. If the players are going one direction and you could set it another direction, you probably don't have blockers in front, but you just hit it out of bounds.
Tiggs from the right side hitting over to the left as far as SVU is concerned, but couldn't get it to go in. Beatty will try to set up Tiggs now. She gets it across. The Knights are trailing here by 3 in the first set. And that attempt at a kill by CNU was too far by Blitt, so it's 11-9. The Knights certainly trailing again by 2 now.
Now, if the Knights can just settle down with their ball control and receive serve a little bit better, they're right in this match. It's a good match so far.
Hosier getting it up and over, and the Knights try for the kill shot. It's Tiggs doing a great job in the back row, saved by the Captains. They get it back across, though. Another dive by the Knights to keep that ball alive. Allred gets it across. Now the Captains will try to set up a kill. Soft kill, Allred right there. Gets it from Beatty. Back again, Allred. Saved by the Captains. They'll try for a kill. Blocked to the net by the Knights. And
just
it rolls
out of
out.
bounds.
Rolls out. There were a couple of Knights right there to make the block, Tom, but as you mentioned, rolled out of bounds, so a point goes to CNU, and they now have a 12-9 lead.
Now, number 15 for the Knights is Allred, and they've gone to her a lot. Let's see if she can keep up with that pace. She's got a lot of sets so far.
Leads the Knights in kills. Very
again.
athletic. Little tip kill that time. Couldn't get it to go. Slammed off of Beatty. Great play by Beatty to keep that ball alive. The Knights get it back across. Now CNU will try for another slam. Allred blocking that one. Beatty trying to get it across. Allred does. Captains will set up on the left side, and hits the net and rolls over as Blitt got a little assistance there from the net in her kill shot to get it to go. It's 13-9, and the Captains now have a 4-point lead. That matches their biggest lead so far here of the first set. That service is long. Service error for CNU. And the Knights get a point, make it 13-10.
CNU let them off the hook just a little bit there by missing their serve after they were on a roll. That's not a good time to miss a serve.
Richards going to check in. She's going to serve. And another service error by Richards. He's just put it a little too soft there, Tom. And she's come off the bench now a couple of times, expressly, I would imagine, to serve, and has put it right into the net. So the Knights, I believe, have at least 3 service errors here in this first set now.
Yes, serve and serve receive usually determines the match, and right now both teams look a little nervous, but the Knights, if they just can get going with serve and serve receive a little bit better, they'll have a good chance.
Got the kill shot to go down the line to make it 14-11.
Again,
Very,
a kill
very
down
tough to
the
stop
line.
her. Very tough to stop her. Allred will now serve. It's 14-11. The Knights within 3 again. Allred serves. CNU setting things up. Saved by Richard. Allred gets it back across. Captains will try the left side. Saved by Richard. Hit the ceiling and then hit the floor. Beatty not able to get there in time as McCann got that kill shot to go, and it's 15-11 CNU.
The Knights had to go deep court. It's just hard to get a kill from that area.
Here's Beatty setting up. Gwynn, and she gets her kill shot to go as she was on the left side and angled it over to the right, and it's 15-12. The Knights back within 3 again.
Good spot that she put that in, a very strong angle. Nobody was there.
Dubinsky serving now for the Knights. Knights trying to get a little run here, down by 3. And there is McCann dumping a little kill shot in where no one was for the Knights. It's now 16-12. Perfect example, Tom, right there. I guess not all kill shots have to be of a blistering speed. Sometimes it's all about placement.
That's exactly right. When you're back on your heels, you're looking for something, a very hard hit. A soft hit can be very effective.
And it looks like we're going to have a violation of Gwynn trying to reach that ball. Went over, and it's a point for the Captains. Now they have their biggest lead of the first set here, 5 points, 17-12. Yeah. Christopher Newport on top.
Serve, receive.
Knights trying to get Gwynn in the action, and her little tap shot is returned by CNU. Allred on the back line with the save. Beatty with a quick toss over, and she found an opening in the CNU court to make it 17-13.
Smart play by the setter. Call it a dump. Just dump it in the middle of the court. That's not usually where the players are trying to play.
So now Beatty will serve with the Knights trailing by 4 here in the opening set. Captains setting up on the right side this time, and they get the point as that kill shot by Caitlin Newsom, 5'10 junior, gets it to go, and it's now 18-13. And Tom, the Knights are trying to hang in there. They just can't get a run going, can't get 2 or 3 or 4 points put together.
Yeah, it just seems to me that they're more out of system, we call it, when they just can't get the ball right to the setter where it's an easy play. They're just out of system more than the other team at this point.
Allred setting things up. Evans is blocked at the net, and it goes to CNU as they block Emma Evans at the net, and make it 19-13 Captains now here in the opening set. And it's going to be Evelyn Harper serving for the Captains. Beatty trying to set up Evans. Blocked again, but that time it is blocked on the CNU side of the court, and it falls to the court right there, and the Knights get the point to make it 19-14. And now we'll see if Layton serving can get the Knights off on a little run here.
The Knights just need to settle down and be sure that they can set the ball to the outside whenever they want to off a good pass.
And that's a kill shot put home by Rachel Blitt again to make it 20-14. The Captains on top again by 6 here. Blitt, 5'10", freshman, getting that kill shot to go. 6-point lead for the Captains. Service by the Captains. Beatty setting up. Tiggs blocked, out of bounds. Point Southern Virginia, 20-15. Dubinsky checks back in. Hosier will now serve for the Knights, who trail by 5 here in the opening set.
This looks like their strongest lineup here for the Knights, where their lefty is on the right side of the court and Allred is on the other side. They can go to either player for a strong hit.
Knights get it across. Now CNU setting up Blitt again for a kill shot. Was blocked by Tiggs. Blitt again. Saved by Layton. Beatty setting up Allred. Smokes it. And it goes too far. Her kill shot out of bounds. 21-15. Captains by 6.
Good idea by Allred to hit it down the line once again. It wouldn't have been blocked, but just hits it barely long.
6-point lead for the Captains. 4 away from victory here in this opening set of a best-of-5 match as Allred to Hosier, gets it across. Captains, whoa, what a great play by Number 1, Hope Webb, usually setting up for the kill shot, but that time she spotted an opening, Tom, right out of the corner of her eye. Must have tapped it over and found the opening, and now it's 22-15 Captains.
You have to be disciplined to watch the setter. They're taking the second contact on the court, and if the setters can see that there's an opening or the players are moving backwards to get ready to dig, they can put it right in front of the back row. That time, actually, the Knights were not out of position that much, but it just went in front of her, made it a hard play. Sometimes you're just back on your heels, ready for a different kind of play, ready for a hit. And a tip is very effective if that happens.
Got a timeout on the court here with the Knights trailing 22-15. Jim Bresnahan joined tonight by Tom Peterson, men's volleyball coach. And while we got a second here, Tom, if you can kind of recap for the folks how you wound up as the men's volleyball coach. How long men's volleyball has been in the works here at Southern Virginia, how you heard about the job, and, what led you to take it?
Well, I was approached to coach the team, and we talked and talked and talked and just asked. Every time we talked, it just seemed everything to fall in place. There's no secret to that. This is a great place. I've really enjoyed it. I've only been here for 3, maybe this is my 4th week. So
okay.
It's wonderful.
22-15. Play back underway with the Knights trailing by 7. Trying to get a run going here. Blitt had her kill shot hit the net and bounce backwards, and the Knights get the point to make it 22-16.
Let's see if Southern Virginia can make a little run here. They need to keep the ball in play.
Kill shot is blocked away by Southern Virginia. Captains get it across. Layton. Allred, kill shot, gets it to go. Knights are back within 5 now, 2 points in a row at 22-17.
That's one of the power hitters, Allred, on the left side of the court for Southern Virginia.
Teagues serving for the Knights, who trail by 5. And a kill shot is good, that time by Hannah Miller. Again, as we mentioned, Hannah Miller came in with 166 kills, second on the team, and she got that one to go to make it 23-17, and suddenly the Captains only need 2 points for victory here in this first set.
Christopher Newport, I'm impressed with them. They've been consistent, even more consistent at the end of this game than they were to begin with. Both teams actually are playing a little bit better right now. They just had Christopher Newport just has a bigger lead than maybe what can be overcome if they both keep playing well.
Katie Crawford had a service error, 23-18. I believe the Knights have 3 of those, and now CNU has at least 2 of those. CNU up by 5. Kill shot is good by Maddie McCann, and she puts her team now within a single point of victory here in this opening set. It's 24-18.
It just puts a lot of pressure on the other team if you can pass well. That was like a perfect pass.
Knights trying to stay alive in this first set as Allred taps it across. Here comes another kill shot blocked by the Knights. Good block by Southern Virginia. Back the other way. Blocked again by the Knights. Quick push over by Beatty. And now Allred with a back row save. Over to Gwynn. Her shot is saved by CNU. Captains send it back the other way. Beatty with a tip. And the point goes to CNU. Looked like Beatty was in the net, maybe?
She was. She was trying to tip that. A setter dump again. She did hit the net as she reached for the ball.
So 25-18 winds up being the final of that first set as the Captains end up with the victory, 25-18. And always you want to get that first set, Tom, but got to win 3 sets, obviously, to get the match victory, so the Knights still have their chances here.
3 out of 5. There's a lot of chances to come back. Just to recap the first game, it just seemed like Southern Virginia just was out of system just too much of the time to win that game. But they're a good team. If they can put the ball in system, meaning tighten up on their serve receive so they can put the ball to the setter where she doesn't have to reach for the ball all the time, or get a ball so that they can set either side of the court, especially when number 12 is up there, Allison Teagues. That's the lefty. So It's harder to set on that side of the court if you don't have a good pass. So if they can get their passing a little bit better, I think they can get back into this match well.
The Captains of Christopher Newport, they came in with a record of 13-4. The Knights 3-10. Knights after losing to Mary Washington on Wednesday, 0-1 in the Capital Conference. This is Christopher Newport's first Capital Conference match. Hey, Tom, just a few minutes ago you were talking, you've been on campus now about almost a month or so. How about your impressions of the university and early on, your impressions of men's volleyball?
Well, we were able to, in just a matter of, a month and a half, I guess, get some 10 players to come at that short notice. And so I think that's very fortunate for us to be able to get the quality of players that we have on campus for men's volleyball. I think we will be exciting, and we hope to add a few more for next semester. We get going in January with our main season.
Yep.
But it's been very good so far. The thing about not having a full team, usually 15, 16 players as a full team, it's a little bit harder to practice. Here at the facility, you only have one court to practice on.
Can't afford injuries, right?
You can't afford an injury or a sickness or for sure any eligibility problems. So we better take care of grades, and we help each other with all of that. So far, so good.
What's the initial schedule look like?
Well, we get to play only one time in the preseason, it's called, or the non-traditional segment, and that's next week, I said. I'm not sure that we can advertise that. That's why I'm hesitating talking about that game. But next semester when we start, we're still putting together our schedule. The hard thing for us is that we were so late in announcing men's volleyball here, we did not get on our conference schedule. So we're an independent this year, and we have to find enough Division III teams to play and quality teams and beat them.
Just trying to get that program off the ground.
Yeah. But I think so far it's so good. We have some good talent.
So beyond that initial year, where will you guys wind up conference-wise, schedule-wise, that sort of thing?
We're in the CVC conference. It's a very good men's volleyball conference, and we are in the conference. We just didn't get in on the schedule this year. So next, the following year, we're in the conference, and it should be very, very good. We'll be very competitive. I can say that right now. We have a good team. It's hard to tell until we actually start serving the first ball, but I think we'll be all right.
Well, second set ready to go here with Southern Virginia falling in that first set, 25-18. And the captains right now trying to get off to a good start in set two after winning set one. And the opening point goes to Christopher Newport.
Again, serve and serve receive. A very hard serve by the captains and not a good pass by the Knights.
And so the captains are off and running here, 1-0, and they've got a service error. That ball way beyond the line, 1-1 now your score.
One thing you always want to try to tell your players is that when you are scoring, don't serve it out of bounds. And sometimes it just keeps happening for some reason.
Well, we have had a lot of service errors here in the first couple of sets, early on in set number two. Each team's got 3 or 4. Beatty with a save, but the ball hit the ceiling and then hit the floor, and so the point goes over to CNU. That ceiling can really throw both teams off sometimes.
Yeah, that was kind of a hard dig, a hard ball to get to, so they had to send it up high, and it did hit the ceiling.
Garrison will serve now for the captains, who lead 2-1.
Oh, that ball was going out of bounds.
Yes, and it was Hosier with Layton going back to grab it, but then it hit the ceiling and no one could return it back across, so the captains get a point and now lead 3-1.
I'm sure that Hannah Hosier wanted that ball back or to let it go.
Another serve by the captains with a 2-point lead.
Again, serve, receive, an out-of-system ball, just giving it back.
But Hosier found an opening on her return to make it 3-2.
Sometimes it's good to be lucky more than a good shot.
And so now Hosier will serve as the Knights back within a point. Captain's trying for the kill. There's Allward with the block. Back across by the Knights. They'll try to set up Tiggs, the left-hander, and she got it to go to make it 3-3.
There was a good example of an in-system play. The ball right to the setter. The Tiggs was up, and she could hit it on that side of the court.
So we are all tied at 3 here in set number 2. CNU blocked there at the net by the Knights. Another attempt by the captains. They get it across. Now the Knights will set up Dubinsky for a little tap, and she got it to go. A little tap shot at the net by Ryan Dubinsky. And the Knights, I think for the first time tonight, have a lead in a game, in a match, in a set, make that 4-3. As the Knights trailed early here in set number 2, but have surged back to make a 4-3 lead after losing set one. Tapped across by the captains, and they get the point. Some good blocks there, Tom, by the Knights, but the captains stuck with it and tapped it across and found a little opening.
You know, I'm very impressed with Ryan Dubinsky, number 3, a middle blocker for the Knights. She's only been starting for the last few matches, and she's really looking good in the middle.
She is indeed. Here's Tiggs, the left-hander, with a kill, but it's blocked away by the captains, and they get a tip shot over the net, a little soft tip shot again that finds an opening to make it 5-4 CNU. Now it seems like both teams, Tom, aren't really relying on the hard kill as much as the soft kill.
Sometimes that happens if you set it up by killing it, hitting fairly hard, and then you go to the soft kill, and then it does put the other team on their heels, and that's why it's effective. The Capitals have been hitting the ball, at least in game one. They were able to, at the end of the game, hit the ball very hard because they were in system, and now the tips are working against the Knights.
Well, Lucinoni had another service error, gives the Knights a point, 5-5 now. A couple of substitutions for Southern Virginia. Layton over to Allred, blocked.
Oh,
and the point.
He hit it into the antenna that particular time.
Yep, and she gives the point over to CNU, and the Captains have the lead back now at 6-5.
But she can tell she's having success. Allred can, number 15, hitting it down the line. That time she just hit the antenna instead of hitting it into the court.
Captain serving with a 1-point lead. Knights trying to tie it back up. And Felkins, her kill shot is too far. 7-5 now, CNU.
So that was a try for the middle hit. Just put it in the court.
Service by the Captains. They lead by 2. Allred gets the kill shot to go. A hard one that time, 7-6.
Now that was the same play they ran last time. They just set someone else on the right side of the court that time to Allred, and she can hit it hard, of course, and that's something different. She had been getting blocked or hitting into the net on the left side of the court. She went to the right side of the court and got a kill.
Allred almost with a service that resulted in a point, and the Captains end up getting that point. Dubinsky got blocked to the net, ball rolled free, and it's 8-6 now, CNU by 2.
When you fight for the ball at the net, it's called a joust. Sometimes it's hard to tell where the ball's going to end up.
Miller with the service. Falcons got a good shot to go, and the Captains barely able to return that one. Here's Dubinsky with a kill, blocked away by the Captains. They'll try over to Gwynn, little tip shot, and it goes for a point.
Now that was a good shot by Gwynn. She roll shot it. Looked like she was going to hit it hard, and then she just took speed off it. It really wasn't a tip. She just rolled it over the block. That's hard to do. That was a very good shot by Gwynn.
Explain that a little bit, Tom, about the soft kill shot. It's not always about location, which is obviously very important, but also whether you can fake the team out, making them think you're going to really hit it hard, and obviously it winds up being a softer one.
That's exactly right. You're always trying to make the other team have to adjust to what you're doing, and when they're constantly, they really can't see what you're doing, you have the advantage quite a bit.
Dubinsky's service is too far, so the Knights had it tied at 8. Now it's 9-8, CNU by 1. Knights hanging right in there with one of the better teams in the Capital Conference, Christopher Newport. Lost the first set, now trailing here 9-8 in set number 2. Hope Webb, top assist person for the Captains, serving. Captains looking for a kill shot at the net, blocked by the Knights. Good block there. And too many hits for the Captains. Can't get it across in time. 9-9 now your score.
Well, I don't know if we've said this enough, that Christopher Newport is currently ranked number 14 in the nation. So to play this well against number 14 team in the country, that's fairly impressive.
Yeah, they're in the top 20. Mary Washington, who the Knights played on Wednesday, was in the top 20. Here's a kill by the Captains, and they get it to go. That was Caitlin Newsom with the kill shot getting it to go to make it 10-9. So the Captains are back on top by 1. We talked about this in the first set. Very tough for the Knights to really put 2 or 3 points together right now against a very good Captains ball club.
Right, that particular play is called a slide. You run and jump off one foot to hit the ball, and that's very hard to stop.
Beatty setting up Allred, and it'll go out.
Again, out of system. meaning they just didn't pass it well enough to get a good swing right where they wanted to, so that she had to hit it way back into the court and just missed.
CNU gets the point to make it 11-9. Evans gets it across. Captains will try to set up a kill on the right side. It's blocked by both Gwynn and Allred and Evans, and it's 11-10 as the Knights get the point. And now it'll be late into the game to serve as the Knights trail by 1.
Southern Virginia is in a good rotation for them. They have 2 strong hitters in the front row.
Blocked to the net by the Knights. It is Tiggs doing the job to get the point for the Knights, and they tie here in the second set, 11-11 now.
I hope you can see that on the screen. It's a fun to celebrate a good block like that, and you can really help the team.
Kill shot blocked out of bounds, blocked by Evans. Point goes to CNU. Emma Evans also doing a great job at the net, attempting to block that one. 5'11 junior from Reston, Virginia. 12-11 now. Captains back on top by a single point. Riley Garrison serving for CNU. Her service. Hosier to Beatty. Hosier will get it across. Now the Captains will try to set up a kill. A little tap shot. Saved by the Knights. Tipped by Tiggs. Captains will set up another little tip shot. It is saved by Beatty somehow. And a hard kill is good by Hannah Miller to make it 13-11.
Actually, good defense by both teams, picking up some balls that just out of the reach. We call it a pancake when all you can do is just put your hand on the ground because the ball is so far out.
Yeah, Beatty just seems to make all those kinds of plays. There's Beatty trying. Oh, she flipped it across, hoping to catch CNU off guards. Blocked by Evans, and it's a point for the Knights.
Lately, the Knights have been touching a lot of balls at the net. I think it's bothering Christopher Newport.
Yeah, CNU does not look like it's killing the ball authoritatively here in the second set like they were maybe in the first set. Captains with a 1-point lead. Knights trying to set things up here for Tiggs, and she got it to go.
There's their strength. They could go to either pin, we call it, or the antenna, the side of the court. And it's a left-handed Tiggs that can hit the ball on that right side of the court. Ties
it at 13. Hosier serving. Knights trying to take the lead here in the second set. And Tiggs' kill shot is good. 14-13. Knights on top by 1.
Another block by the Knights. They're doing very, very well. It is affecting the captains.
Service by Hosier. 1-point lead for the Knights. Beatty setting up Allred. And we've got a violation at the net by the Captains. Gives the point for the Knights. It's 15-13 Southern Virginia now by 2.
On a roll right now for the Knights. That was an easy free ball to the Captains, but someone just jumped and hit the net.
Hosier getting ready to serve. 2-point lead for Southern Virginia. I believe that's their biggest lead of the entire match so far. They lost the first set. Trailed throughout the second set. Now have a 2-point lead. Tapped by the Captains. Beatty with the setup for Tiggs again. Blocked by CNU. And a violation. I think it's a double hit on CNU. Gives the Knights a 3-point lead. Now 16-13. Timeout taken by the Captains.
So this is a good run by the Knights. They keep this on the roll. Now it's going to be important out of a timeout. The coach calls a timeout to kind of shut down a run. It'll be very important to get this a good serve into the court and keep them out of system, keep the other team out of system.
All right, it's been tight throughout the second set. The Captains won the first set pretty handily. Like 25-18 was the final of the first set, but here in set number 2, it's been 3 or 4 points and no more than that either way. And right now, the Knights have a 3-point lead.
Ball control. Southern Virginia now has good ball control going. They're putting the ball up where they need it, so a little bit shorter setter that they can get to the ball easily without having to jump high into the net or run to get the ball in system. Surely helps.
Knights trying to get the second set, even up the match at a set apiece. And Hosier will serve. Gets it across. Happens. Get it across to Allred. Allred. Beatty. Back to Tiggs. And she got the point to go. Boy, Tiggs has really been the one who has been hammering home the kill shots here. Tom, you know, past couple of games as they really have relied on Allred, but the left-hander Tiggs is starting to do the job here against CNU, and the Knights have their biggest lead so far, 4 points, 17-13.
You always want to go to the hot hitter, and right now Tiggs is the hot hitter. They'll probably keep going to her.
Hosier serving again with a 4-point lead now for Southern Virginia. The captains go with a soft kill. Dubinsky will try, and she hits it and gets the spike to go. 18-13, Knights by 5.
If you were to scout Southern Virginia, you would say they don't hit in the middle a lot. They don't sit there a lot. So when it happens and they kill it, it really gets you off guard.
Hosier serving again. Knights lead continues to grow. It's 5 points now. And CNU finally able to get a point. Piper with her slam off of one of the Southern Virginia players to the court. So CNU finally gets the point to make it 18-14. And now it's going to be Lusoni serving for the captains. Allred sets up over to Bailey, and Tiggs with a smash gets the point again.
She is the hot hitter right now, but now she's going back to the back row. She's coming out. She'll have a sub that plays a little bit of defense. So we'll see if we can continue that for the Knights. In the front row, it looks like Allred will be the one that they will set in this rotation.
Front row going to be Allred, I believe, and Felkins is back in there along with Dubinsky. And there's a service that finds an opening on the CNU court as Crockett got it to go to make it 20-14. And so now it's a 6-point lead. Another timeout will be taken by the captains as the Knights now have a 6-point lead here in set number 2.
So what the Knights just did, they substituted 2 people, a little taller player in the front row, and now there's a new setter, number 4, Crockett, in the back row. So it'll be a different setter. Sometimes that really can work for you because you have someone that's a little taller that can block, and sometimes it can work against you because it's a little bit harder not to have the same setter set you. You can get out of sync, so let's see what happens in this situation.
Hey, Tom, really quick, checking out your bio, you have coached, I guess, 6, 7, 8 different places and won championships at Penn State and BYU, I think 1994 and 2004, right?
That is correct. Yeah, I've been to a lot of places, I guess. That's good, I guess.
Well, really quick, what's it take to win a national championship like that?
Well, they don't just grow on trees, I'll just say that.
I'll bet, yeah. There's Allred at the net trying to tip. Now she'll try to go a smash. It is blocked by the captains. Dubinsky pokes it over, and the point will go to the captains.
If Dubinsky would have just tried to tip that into the captain's court, they wouldn't have called a lift on her, but because she tried to tip it back to us and it kind of spun around on her fingers, they did call a lift.
So it is a double hit, 20-15 now. Allred, Crockett to Felkins, and her smash is too far and out of bounds. 20-16 now.
Southern Virginia needs to be very careful here. They can't just squander away the momentum.
At a 6-point lead, now it's down to 4. And that was an easy one right there as the Knights returned it, maybe inadvertently, quickly over to the net, and it was right there, an easy smash. Little tip shot by the captains, and a little 3-0 run now by CNU, Tom, and it's going to be a timeout taken by Southern Virginia. So the Knights had a 20-14 lead, and suddenly it is 20-17.
A very good timeout. The captains were starting to get momentum themselves, and the ball control was going away for the Knights. Just to stop that, it's a very good timeout for the coach. Let's see what happens after the timeout. If they can get a good pass, they will still have the lead, still have the momentum, but it depends a lot right on this pass.
So you won your championships, I believe, 1994 at Penn State, 2004 at BYU. Which of those teams was better?
Well, I think volleyball keeps evolving, and it's changed in the last 20 years. I'll talk about that more as we finish here.
And here we go as the Knights try to break this little skid they're on. And they do. Captains can't get it back across. All important point there for the Knights, 21-17. As Gwynn will check in for Layton, and Allred will service here for the Knights, who have a 4-point lead again. Allred, service error. She mishit that one, 21-18 now.
Now that was just a complete miss, and it just happens to even the good players. Maybe that's even the best player on the court. So how she responds to that, if she's not embarrassed, she just comes right back. Let's see what Allred does. They even tried to serve her there.
And Felkins is blocked, and the point goes to CNU, and now the Captains are within 2 at 21-19.
If you look at Southern Virginia, several of them are taking deep breaths, whatever you can do to just get the stress away from you.
5-1 run here, and that ball is somehow saved by the Captains. Looked like a sure point for the Knights. Here is Gwynn, blocked.
Good dig by the Captains, but the Knights were able to come back with a very strong hit off the block.
Yeah, that block goes out of bounds, and so the Knights get the point to make it 22-19. Now Dubinsky will serve for the Knights. They're within 3 of winning this set. Captains setting up, blocked by Evans. Over and out. Nope. It's a point for the Knights. That ball goes out, and the Knights suddenly have a 4-point lead, now 23-19, and more importantly, they are only 2 points away from winning set number 2.
Southern Virginia, if they will just equal the Captains with ball control, they have a good chance of winning this whole match.
Dubinsky serving. And Ryan Dubinsky with the serve. That might be too long. It is. 23-20.
Under pressure serving. Many games are determined by serving under pressure right at the end.
Tyler McGill will serve now for the Captains, who trail by 3. Knights need 2 points to get to 25 and even up this match at a set apiece. Allred.
Good pass.
And it is out on the attempt to knock it home. The Knights send it out of bounds. It's 23-21.
Now that was not the Knights' strength to set the middle. Let's see where they go this time. It probably is going outside. There it is.
They go to Gwynn. It's blocked by the Captains. Knights get it across. Captains setting up a slam. Blocked by the Knights excellently. And it's sent back across, and it's going to be in. Boy, that just barely got inside the line for the Captains, and suddenly they are only a point down, 23-22. Knights will take a timeout. So at one point in the second set, the Knights had a 20-14 lead, and the Captains are on an 8-3 run to get back to within a single point.
Yeah, on that particular play, it was just unfortunate for the Knights. They made a very good block, but sometimes the rebound goes to someone who deflects it right back into the court, and that's what happened. But it was a good block, so this is going to be, I bet you it comes down to just serve and serve receive right to end this game. Let's see what happens.
And it's really a pivotal set here, because if the Knights lose this set, they're down 2-0. They've got to sweep the remaining 3 sets to win the match, whereas if the Knights win, it's 1-1, and it's really anybody's match at that point.
It's a very, very important 2 points right here.
Service by the Captains. Knights, little tip shot blocked by the Captains. Evans had her tip shot rejected and blocked backwards by the Captains, and they tie it at 23.
I'm not sure that was a good decision for the Knights to go back to the middle and not even get a swing.
Hosier's ball hits the ceiling. Gwynn will just tap it across. Now the Captains will try to set up a kill shot of their own, and they get it.
Oh, very unfortunate. So, again, ball control. The Knights just really haven't got a swing. They had to tip the last few, and that wasn't a good enough set to get a swing on either.
And now suddenly the Captains only need a point for the set victory, and they get it. The Knights not able to return that ball, and somehow the Captains down 20-14. Tom, come all the way back to win 25-23.
If you watch the last 5 points of that game, you'll see it probably boils down to serve and serve receive, and the last 3 or 4 points were made just by because of poor passing or good serving or lack of good serving. It just, even I made the comment, if they can just play even, the Knights can just play even with the captains with ball control, they have a good chance of winning the match. They had a very good chance of winning that game. It just came down to ball control, especially right under pressure at the end of the game.
Yeah, it was 20-14. The Knights proceed to get outscored down the stretch 11-3. They even used a couple of timeouts to try to settle things down and just could not stop CNU's run.
Another thing that happened is that Teagues went to the back row and wasn't. She was the one that was on fire. The
That's
lefty.
right. Yeah.
She went to the back row, and now she's out of the game because a good defensive player comes in for her. So it just changes the complexion. You want your good hot player in the front row to end the game for sure.
Yeah. So the big victory there by CNU. They win the first set 25-18, win the second set 25-23, and now have a 2-0 lead in sets in this best-of-5 match. We've got a little break here between set 2 and set 3 with the Knights trailing in sets 2-0. So we'll take a little break here from the Knights Sports Arena. Jim Bresnahan and also men's volleyball coach Tom Peterson with you tonight. And we'll come back for set 3 in just a few minutes. Bresnahan back here at the Knights Sports Arena, along with, again, the men's volleyball coach Tom Peterson, as the Knights are trailing now in this best-of-5 match to the Christopher Newport Captains in women's volleyball. Right now it is CNU on top 2-0, winning the first set 25-18, and then taking the second set 25-23 after they trailed 20-14. A big 11-3 run by Christopher Newport got them that second victory in the second set. And right now, Tom, when you look at the stats, what really leaps out at you from the stat sheet?
Well, if you look at the stats, the hitting percentage, 200, I mean, it's not something to write home about, I don't think, for Christopher Newport.
Right.
Because I think that the Knights have kind of hurt them at the net. They've intimidated them every once in a while. But on the other hand, Southern Virginia is only hitting 137. And when there's that much of a disparity, that usually means the team is winning by a larger margin than what they actually did.
And the Knights were led in the first couple of sets by Allison Teague. She actually had 7 kills. Allred had 6 kills. Usually it's Allred leading the team in kills, but tonight it's Teague's.
Well, that would be the other statistic to look at, I think. Hannah Allred has 22 attempts, the most attempts on the team. Teagues has 16 attempts, but Teagues is hitting 375 to 091, so not just 91 to 375. If Hannah Allred can up her hitting percentage, that will really that'll help the Knights a lot.
And Tom, you also mentioned the Knights have a lot of digs in the first couple of sets.
I think that Southern Virginia is very good on defense. They're very good. In fact, they have more digs than the Captains. I think that's one of their strengths. It comes down to those other statistics I was talking about, hitting percentage, and now we've got to get our hot hitter, the usual strong hitter for the Knights, Allred, back into the match and hitting a good percentage.
So we are ready to go now here for set number 3. Knights trailing in sets 2-0. Have to win this set or the match is over. CNU came in with a record of 13-4. Knights 3-10. Knights have played CNU tough just like they played Mary Washington tough on Wednesday, but these are two of the better teams in the Capital Conference.
Yeah, we should emphasize that. The Knights are a good team now. They're getting better and better. They're just playing very good teams as well.
Knights got a save there. Gwynn gets it over. The Captains get it back across. Hosier setting up Tiggs. She is blocked, and the point goes to CNU. So Tiggs, who had a big second set and has been playing well all night long, that time Tom had her kill shot blocked at the net by the Captains.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a scramble. It was out of system a little bit. So if they can be in system, let's see if Tiggs can keep up her hot hitting.
It is going to be Gwynn, and she is blocked at the net for a point for the Captains.
If you look,
not the way the Knights wanted to start this third set, with a couple of blocks at the net by the Captains.
Right. And if you look at the Captains, they have their blockers spread out, so they're right in front of the outside hitters of the Knights.
Garrison serving. Beatty saves, sets up. That's going to be too far. 3-0. Captains on top here. They're trying to run away with this third set and by virtue take the match.
Momentum in volleyball really is astounding. Now they really have to concentrate to get the momentum back, so at least to even, and then it could be a good match.
Knights get it back across. Captains will set up on the right side this time. Tap it across. Beatty setting up Tiggs. Whoa, what a dig that time by the Captains to save after Tiggs looked like she had a sure point. Beatty will set up Tiggs again, gets it across. Captains will try for a kill shot on the other way. The Knights are able to return it. Allred tipped, and Tiggs couldn't get it to go, and it's knocked across by the Captains, and the point goes to Southern Virginia. So a big point there for the Knights to get them on the scoreboard here in set number 3.
Yes, momentum, you can just feel it. Getting that first point is kind of a calming effect.
Layton serving, 3-1. Knights trail by 2 here in set number 3. Little tip put back across by the Knights. And we've got a point for the Knights. Looked like one of the Captains got into the net. And the ball rolls out of bounds anyway. So it's 3-2. set on the left side. And that kill shot is driven home by Mary Catherine Hall, a 5'10 freshman, and she makes it 4-2, Captains. Well, Tom, you know, you guys will be practicing, I guess, the men's volleyball right after this one's done, right?
We will. I'll go put on my gym shoes and get ready.
How's the team looking? Do you want to mention any individual players for men's volleyball?
Well, I'd actually like to mention all of the players, so we probably don't have time to do that. I feel a little bit, I just don't like to single particular guys out all the time, especially when we haven't even played.
Right.
But as a whole, I think we have some good talent, and I think that but lack of experience in some positions, if that makes sense. We have a 6'10 guy, but he was a former basketball player, and he just needs some experience.
Couldn't get the shot, and she actually did get that kill shot to go to make it 5-3. Big point there for Southern Virginia, Tom. They really need to get a couple of points to really kind of get the lead here in set number 3.
Yeah.
And that shot is going to be a point for the Christopher Newport team. Is Mary Catherine Hall, a 5'10 freshman from Reedville, Virginia. She's had a couple of points here, a couple of kills that have gone in. And she has her team up now 6-3. The Captains on top by 3.
Yeah, the Captains are able to get a good swing at the ball. Looks like there's a substitution for the Captains now. Sometimes that causes a delay. Sometimes you don't want that delay if you're the team that's scoring.
So it is 6-3, CNU. They won the first 2 sets. Beatty setting up. Tiggs, little tap shot. Captains are able there.
Got to get a good swing for both teams.
Allred gets it to go on a kill shot. And it's 6-4. So the Knights battling back here, now trail by 2. As the Knights will make some substitutions. Crockett is in, and also Felkins
so here
comes
we
back
have
in.
A different setter for the Knights. And again, Allred will be the power hitter only. Up front, Tiggs goes out.
Crockett serving. Spike attempt by the Captains. Blocked. Allred the other way. She got it to go. It's 6-5.
Good set, good location, and a good swing by Allred that time. If Allred can get hot, like I said, this could be a different match.
Crockett on the serve. Captains will try to get it across. They do. It's going to be Allred again. And I think we're going to have a point for CNU, maybe a double hit on the Knights.
That's correct.
And it's 7-5.
That's one of the calls. It's a judgment call, whether something is carried, and they call it a double.
And that's a tough call to make if you're a referee, really in the nick of time, isn't it?
It is. That's what drives coaches crazy, but sometimes you have to call it. So, but it's a judgment call.
Excellent play by the Captains. They thought they were going to set up a spike. Instead, they had number 5 there. Tyler McGill just tap it across, and the Knights never could handle it. And now it's 8-5, CNU by 3. With the Captain serving. Crockett sets up Allred, and she gets her spike to go to make it 8-6.
Well, not passing that great for the Knights, but Allred now seems to be on track just a little bit more. That should help a lot.
And Allred serving. Knights within 2 here in set number 3. And that shot is going to be too far by the CNU Captains. And it's 8-7.
So Gwen becomes the power hitter that the Knights will go to continually on the left side of the court here.
Allred serving. CNU tries a slam from the right side, returned by the Knights. They set up Gwen. It's blocked by the Captains, and the Captains get a point out of it.
When you are a power hitter and you hit it into the hands of the block, it kind of comes back fast. But that's their strength for Southern Virginia. Somebody can hit it hard. They have 3 good hard hitters.
Knights trying to get a point here. Dubinsky's tap blocked by the Captains. Gwen taps it ahead and across. The other way, McCann's shot is blocked. They'll try it from the right side, and it's a point for CNU. They really do a great job, the Captains do, of mixing it up, whether they go left, middle, or right, and they really take you off guard sometimes.
Yeah, Christopher Newport seems to be scoring a lot with off-speed shots, not just their power hits.
Yep. 10-7 now. Here's Gwynn, blocked again by the Captains. Tapped across by the Knights. McCann's kill shot is saved by the Knights. Felkins gets it back across. Tap is good by Christopher Newport. That was Piper. Couple of Knights, it looked like Tom went high for the block, and she just tapped it right by him.
Yeah, if you're a coach, you would say, hey, we got to get up there for the tip. So Christopher Newport, a lot of tips, a lot of off-speed shots.
Allred returns that serve. 11-7, Captains by 4. Here's McCann again, and off the Knights. And I don't know if that one is let go. That might be too far, but it was hit by the Knights, and so it's a point for CNU. 12-7, Captains.
Well, for Christopher Newport, that was a good, needed shot. If you're that team, finally somebody hit it hard and you're up, and that's hard on the other team. Finally somebody swings, and that's why there's a timeout for the Knights.
So it's a 5-point lead right now for Christopher Newport, 12-7. Again, they won the first 2 sets, 25-18 and 25-23, and if they win this set, it's all over. And a reminder about a very busy sports day coming up on Saturday here at Southern Virginia University. First of all, tomorrow at 1 p.m. we'll have Southern Virginia football taking on the Wesley Wolverines. That's at 1 o'clock. You can catch that football game between Southern Virginia and Wesley. Then at 5:30, men's soccer against Penn State Harrisburg, followed by women's soccer again against Penn State Harrisburg at 8 p.m. on Saturday. So a triple header on the schedule. Football followed by men's soccer and then women's soccer.
If you like sports, that's the day.
Very busy sports weekend with volleyball to kick it all off here with the Knights trailing in sets 2-0, trailing in this third set 12-7. Captains tried to get it across but could not. Hit the net and came back.
You don't want to be too cute with a ball that you just have to send over as a free ball. You're probably not going to get a kill. She wishes she had that one back.
12-8 now. Dubinsky is serving. Great serve. Knights will get the point. She put it where the Captains really couldn't reach it, and now suddenly a little 2-0 run here by the Knights to make it 12-9.
If you notice where the setter's coming from, a serve that goes into that area can be very effective, and then it went short. Good serve.
Kill shot by the Captains, retrieved by the Knights, and the effort by Dubinsky to get it across hits the net. And the Captains get a very big point, 13-9 right now.
If the Knights want to come back, they need to get the ball up to the setter where they can make an easy set, where the outside hitter can make a good approach, not one that's off the net. When you're off the net, it's hard to get a kill.
From Bresnahan and Tom Peterson bringing you all the action here from the Knights Sports Arena with the Knights trailing 13-9 here in set number 3. Captain setting up for the kill shot, and they get it to go with the 5'10 freshman, Mary Catherine Hall, hitting it off one of the Knights players to make it 14-9. Captains now by 5.
Again, Southern Virginia just not able to get a good swing.
Allred hits it over to Evans. Hits the ceiling, tapped across, but it's going to be a violation, I believe, on the Captains, and so it's a point for the Knights.
Good pass that time. They were able to, even though they set the middle and maybe not a hard swing, but it was a good pass, it does not allow the blockers to get set up.
And now Beatty will serve. Valerie Beatty serving, 14-10, Knights trail by 4. And another kill, that time by Riley Garrison of CNU, 6'1", and she got her shot to go to make it 15-10.
Well, I think it's interesting. Both teams are choosing not to block with 2 blockers in the middle of the court. If either team could capitalize and set a lot of quick sets, we call it, in the middle of the court, they could really score a lot of points.
Evans got it across, but it went out of bounds, it looks like. And so the point goes to CNU. Evans almost got that inside the line, but it went outside, and now it's a 6-point lead for Christopher Newport.
This is the important time of the match. If you're going to make a comeback, it's got to happen here, I think.
Beatty will set up Gwynn. Tip shot. Oh, what a play by her.
You saw Gwynn do that before in the first game. A little roll shot, we call it. It's really You don't call it a tip. It's a roll shot, and no one's really expecting that. If you can perfect that, that's hard to defend.
And it's 16-11 now with Layton serving for the Knights. CNU will go with the kill shot, and it hits off and goes for a point for SVU. So the Knights on a little 2-0 run here. They have pulled back to within 4 now. It's 16-12.
They blocked the 2 people in the middle. That's interesting that time.
Captains get it across barely.
Call that.
Yeah, it looked like there was some movement across the line.
But it ended up okay for the Knights.
Allred was blocked, but it went out of bounds. 16-13. Knights 3 straight points to pull back to within 3 after trailing by 6. And a service error by the Knights, by Delaney Layton. It's 17-13.
Yeah, that was a chance to come back, and they were scoring. Again, as a coach, that drives you crazy when somebody stops your own team by their own missed serve, and it wasn't the other team.
How does that happen for the layman, I guess, Tom? Is that just a lack of...
Not always. When I do a camp in the summer, I have a question for kids, and they never get it right. I ask them, what's the worst thing in volleyball statistically, winning or losing? That correlates to winning or losing. And it's a missed serve. Yep. What's the next worst thing? Nobody ever gets that. It's an easy serve.
Teague's got a big point there to make it 17-14. Now the Knights will try it again with Allred, and she smokes it home to make it 17-15.
Now Allred hitting much better than she did. So when I say you can't serve an easy serve, if you serve an easy serve to a good team, it's almost an automatic side out against a good team.
Blocked by the Knights for a point.
Oh, again they chose to block with 2 in the middle. Good block by Southern Virginia.
Knights at one point trailed 16-10. Now they're only down by 1 at 17-16 with Hosier serving. And we got violation, I believe, double hit on the captains.
Setter. They called a double. They call it on the setter. It was just a mishandled ball.
The captains are going to take a timeout, Tom. So from a 16-10 lead for the captains, firmly in control here in set number 3, it's suddenly 17-17.
Again, it comes down to the momentum in volleyball is unbelievable. Right now, Southern Virginia is matching the captains with ball control, as I said, and they have the momentum. Now, because of the timeout, you don't want to make the coach look too good to call the timeout. Let's get the serve in the court and make it a good serve.
Well, most times when you have a timeout, are the coaches just looking to settle their team down, or are they actually changing strategy at all?
It's usually just to settle the team down. Momentum really is great in volleyball, and you need to do something.
17.
Too bad you can only do it twice.
Yep, Hosier serving, 17-17, all tied up here. Big point here, blocked by the Knights. They go over to the left side, and the Knights get the point.
Yeah, the hitter just didn't take a good approach. They were scrambling around. The hitter needs to get outside for an approach. He was inside and just couldn't swing very hard, hit it into the antenna.
Hosier serving, 18-17. Knights are on top by 1 now here in set 3.
There's a tip.
Good save by Hosier.
Oh.
Controversial call there.
I couldn't tell that it hit the antenna. It must have. Everybody called it, but the angle sure looked like it was driven into the middle of the court, so I'm not sure that unless it hit it on the way there.
Ties the game at 18. Allred, Beatty setting up Allred, tip shot. Blocked by Allred, and it hit the antenna, and the point goes over to CNU for a 19-18 lead. So no sooner do the Knights take the lead than the captains come right back and take a 1-point lead.
Unfortunate for the Knights, and Allred right there. She was right there with the block. When someone's tipping, it's hard sometimes to just time it perfectly. She timed it just a little bit too late with reaching over. Otherwise, I think she would have blocked the ball.
CNU serving with a 1-point lead. Allred. Her shot is in.
If you see that on the screen, that's a smart shot by Allred. She hits it into the far corner. That's hard to defend. She didn't try to just put it down. She's kind of on fire, and she's putting the ball, being relaxed and putting the ball where she wants it.
That might have been the best kill shot all night long. It's 19-19 with Crockett serving. The Captains will try a kill shot. McCann.
Oh, they called that hitting the antenna as well.
Yep. And the point goes over to CNU for a 20-19 lead.
It's kind of hard to see the angle where we're sitting, but both of those calls were very interesting. Ball kind of going toward the court, I thought.
Going to be Allred with a little tip over. Smoked again by the Knights, but it's returned by the Captains. And angled shot by the Captains, and they get the point.
Now that's a smart shot by Christopher Newport. That's
they
a roll
saw
shot
basically the left side of SVU's opening of the court had a pretty much wide open, Tom.
Yeah, she hit a very strong shot, or a very strong angle, roll shot. Nobody there.
Knights fighting gamely, but trailing here now, 21-19 in the third set. Here is Allred driving it down the line, but apparently too far. 22-19, a 3-point lead now for the Captains.
Timeout. Yeah, that wasn't one to miss at that particular time. In fact, if it just goes in the court at all, it wasn't going to get blocked. She had a good approach that time, a good swing. Just tried to hit it a little bit too deep, and it went long.
Well, the timeout seemed to work for CNU. They allowed the Knights to come all the way back from 6 down to take a lead, and they called a timeout, and now they've got a 3-point lead, and now the Knights will take a timeout. We'll see if it works for them.
Isn't it interesting, all these little mini runs, the momentum back and forth. So what could you do to get the momentum back here? They need a good pass. Even if they set Allred, it looks like she's their power hitter here.
Yep. And they need it right now because 3 more points and this match is over.
Oh, but we might sit Tiggs on the right side of the court. Let's see.
Hosier to Beatty, setting up Allred. Captains save it. Captains will knock it back across. Knights will try again. It's going to be Tiggs, and she goes into the net with her kill attempt. It's 23-19, and now the Captains only need 2 points for match victory.
Yeah, I'm not sure that Southern Virginia has killed a ball from the deep court yet tonight. I'm not sure that's a time to set that ball.
Knights trying to stay in this match, trailing 2-0. And another kill shot. Got a little tip by Riley Garrison. She again found an opening, and suddenly the Captains only need 1 point for the victory. Service by the Captains. Knights trying to stay alive. And there's a big kill shot by Ryan Dubinsky.
Now, where's that been all evening? Kill in the middle and a very nice swing, too, not just a tip. If they could do that more and more, they'll be a good team as the season goes on.
It was a good set, too. 24-20 now. And here's the service by Allred. The Captains are not going to be able to return that. 24-21.
A lot of short serves have been effective this evening. Looks like look how far back both teams stand to receive. The ball goes in front. Good serve.
3-point lead now for the Captains. Allred serving again. Captains with match point. The tip saved there by Hosier. What a save by Hosier. The other way, McCann blocked and dug out by the Knights, and Gwynn tips it back across. Great point here. Tipped by the Captains, and they win the game.
Oh.
Win the set and win the match. A little tip that Hosier dove for. Tom just could not reach.
You know, good play by both teams at times. It's just ups and downs. The mini runs, I think, were just the undoing. Too many mini runs of, well, the Captains, I just thought, were a little bit more consistent than Southern Virginia tonight. But Southern Virginia, as I've watched, they're getting better and better. It's impressive.
All close 3 sets, 25-18 in the first, 25-23 in the second, and 25-21 in the third. That second set really was the crusher, I guess you could say, for the Knights. They were hoping to even the sets at 1 apiece. They had a lead in that second set and then let it get away from them. 11-3 run, I think, at the very end by Christopher Newport to win that second set, and then they were able to hold on here in the third set.
Yeah, it's like a shot selection in basketball. I bet you when they look at film or they talk about the Southern Virginia, they'll say, well, what happened the last 3 or 4 points of each game? And I'm not sure that they were always trying to set the sets that they wanted to end the game. If they could correct that, then, yeah, they have a better chance of winning the game right at the end.
So a very game effort today again by the Knights, but they fall short, losing in 3 sets to Christopher Newport and dropping now to 3-11 on the season. CNU improves to 14-4 on the season. A reminder about a full sports day coming up on Saturday at Southern Virginia University. Southern Virginia taking on Wesley in football at the fields at Southern Virginia University tomorrow at 1 p.m., followed by men's soccer against Harrisburg at 5:30, and then women's soccer against Harrisburg Saturday night at 8 o'clock. So make sure you join us on Saturday for football, followed by men's soccer and then women's soccer. That's going to wrap things up here from the Knights Sports Arena as Christopher Newport wins in 3 sets against the Southern Virginia University women's volleyball team. For Tom Peterson, I'm Jim Bresnahan, and for Josh and all the crew, thanks again for joining us here for men's and women's volleyball here at the Knights Sports Arena. And join us again on Saturday for football, men's soccer, and women's soccer.